Good morning, guys. I am starting my to-do list this morning. I just dropped my kids off, had a little coffee, and I am going to start laundry. It seems like laundry is always first on my list, and I don't have a consistent Monday I do laundry, Tuesday I do this. I tried that for a little bit, did not work. I also kind of go with the flow when it comes to my kids' chores. Now, I did the mom bucks thing a little bit I think it was towards the end of last year, and really I think it was on my part. I just wasn't very consistent with it. My kids do have to do dishes, put their clothes away, you know, the normal day-to-day stuff, cleaning, picking up after themselves, but I think it has been hard for me to kind of let go of control, which is weird for me to say because it's not, I don't really look at it as a control thing. I think I've just been a stay-at-home mom for so long, and I've really engulfed myself in that role, you know, because my husband brings in our income. I take care of all of the house responsibilities. So for me to, it sounds weird saying it out loud, but for me to like put that on someone else feels weird to me. But it's my kids and they are old enough and they should be doing chores. So it's a weird statement to say out loud, but that's really kind of how my mindset has been. It was just, it felt like that's my job. Like that's what I should be doing. So anyways, we don't really do the mom bucks thing anymore. My kids also have not asked about it. So I think it was just one of those things. We tried it, it didn't really stick. And I think what works best for us is just a day-to-day kind of what needs to get done, gets done. I also wanted to update you guys a little bit on Daylin and how she's been doing. So a while back, she had all of those really weird symptoms that mimicked her having like acid reflux. And it was to the point where she was in just a lot of pain in her chest. She was also having headaches a lot. She felt like she had a lump in her throat, and it was so like consuming for me because I wanted so bad to make her feel better. So I was keeping a food journal. I was trying to really figure out what foods are causing it, and just when you think you have it figured out, she eats that same thing and everything's fine. So it was like there was no consistent patterns with the food. I probably had 40 different Google searches, screenshotted on my phone trying to figure out what was going on. She was also given different medicines that didn't help. She had an endoscopy done, a chest x-ray done because she was having chest pain and it felt hard to breathe. She had blood work done, and nothing took it away. Nothing helped. So after all of that, we had a follow-up with her pediatrician, and he referred us to a counselor. So she started seeing a counselor, and after the first couple weeks, I saw really that her symptoms slowly started to subside. I was able to go with her to a couple of her appointments. She did most of them by herself. She was bringing home packets and stuff to help to even see if it was anxiety. That was really the biggest thing, is it anxiety? Is this going to help? And so slowly over time, as she had these appointments and we kind of narrowed it down to what it could be, her chest stopped hurting. All of her symptoms kind of slowly faded out, and now I feel like we're finally coming to an end with this long journey, and it almost makes me a little, what is the right word? It makes me feel really freaking terrible because I feel like, did I contribute to her anxiety? If, you know, it's anxiety this whole time. Was I contributing to her chest flare up because I was so focused on it being food? Obviously I didn't know. I was just trying to, as a mom, do what I thought was best. But you know, the mom guilt sometimes kicks in here and there, and that was definitely one of those times where I'm like, man, I was so consumed and focused on what foods were hurting her chest, trying to figure that out, that I probably was also stressing her out too. So she had her last counseling appointment last week, and we've all, you know, myself and Daylin and her counselor really thought that we're at a pretty good point where we can stop doing the counseling sessions, and if need be in the future, if she ever needs to go, now we kind of have a better understanding of it. But now really it's on my shoulders to just continue with what she's learned. And you know, with me also having anxiety, I feel like I'm still kind of in the process of figuring it out, but I've done so much work in the past, I would say, year really trying to hone in on what triggers my anxiety. I am an overthinker, and I'm still learning as an adult how to cope with it. And so with her being so young, I feel like I can help her that way. As she grows older, she can look at situations a lot differently and not be so scared and nervous, because I feel like that's kind of how I walked through my childhood. And as an adult, I had anxiety with everything, but I didn't know what it was. I just felt scared to try new things or do this or do that, and it really does hold you back. So I just want to continue to help her with that. On a totally different topic, I have Bo's dog bed outside, and then I also ended up pulling all of our rugs outside too to pressure wash them. I probably do this twice a year, and it is such a pain in the butt. I wish I would have bought a different dog bed. I love that one because it's an extra large one for my big boy Bo to fit on, but the cover does not remove, which I try to only buy dog beds that the cover removes from it. It's just easier. But Bo is, his hips are starting to get bad, and so when he walks on the hardwood floor, I think it scares him that he's gonna slip and fall. So he either like scurries from one rug to the next, or he just stands there and whines until we kind of help him. So I wanted to get the rugs clean and put back down for him, and kind of position them a little bit closer together around the house on the hardwood floor. That way he felt a little bit more comfortable and had a little bit more, stability walking around the house. My rugs are done. I have them outside, just hanging like on the outside of my porch, and I'm probably going to have to wait till tomorrow. I'll probably just let them air dry all night, leave them outside. I don't think it's supposed to rain or anything, but I was really hoping to mop and everything. But if I don't have rugs down and it's muddy out, there is no point in me mopping right now, not putting rugs down, having the dogs come in and get the floor muddy again. I only have one cleaning, a new client on Wednesday, and then that's really it for this week. And then this weekend we're gonna go to my dad's to kind of visit him, but I am on my way to Walmart because I'm so tired of like having to run for little piddly things. Ew, I just spit. I need coffee, breakfast sandwiches, and lunch meat, and it's stuff that we really need, but I was just there a couple days ago. Ugh. Empty your lunchbox, pretty please.
I tend to be at work.
What? Yeah. You want me that? No. Love you. Huh? Love you. Tonight for dinner, we are doing a breakfast supper. I probably do breakfast suppers once a week, which we love breakfast suppers. And tonight I ended up making those TikTok cinnamon rolls. You just do a little bit of heavy cream in the bottom, and then it is a brown sugar and butter mixture that you pour over the top. And then those are in the oven, and while I am cooking those, I decided to try these like mini muffin cups. So I think the recipe called for hash browns, like regular hash browns, but I ended up putting, pretty sunset. You have to see the pretty sunset out here. Back to the food. I ended up putting 3 tater tots down in the bottom. You cook that first so that they get a little bit crispy, and then you do your egg mixture over top of that, and then you do a little bit of cheese. Found this recipe on Pinterest, and that is going to be our breakfast supper tonight, and it was delicious. Day ended up having leftover pizza for dinner tonight, so it was just me, Dalton, and Brett, and then Dalton informed me that he was not hungry either, so it was just Brett and I. So I dipped out some plates for us. We have cinnamon rolls. I also cooked some sausage. I try to balance out, no matter what meals we have, I try to balance it out with a little bit of meat, a little bit of, veggies or fruit, that kind of thing. So try to make it a pretty good dinner, even though it's a breakfast supper. So Brett and I sat down to have a little bit of dinner together, and then Dalton decided he was hungry, so one of those nights where we kind of all eat separate. But I had to show you how tall Dalton's getting. Blows my mind. He's like almost as tall as me.